can cross continents and cultures, but there's one thing that can bring it to a standstill. It needs no language. The white flag is a universal symbol of truce, but here in Aotearoa, it wasn't the only way to make peace. In Māori tribal wars, the very weapon used in battle could also become the ultimate peacemaker.
This taiaha is named Te Rongo Taketake. It was given by the Ngāti Ira tribe of Wellington to Ngāpuhi about the year 1819. That was the period when Ngāpuhi and Ngāti Toa came down from up north and embarked on a series of raids throughout the western coast of the North Island. It was probably one of the largest Māori expeditions of its period. There were probably several hundred people involved.
With striking moko, TAMATI WAKA NENE was just one of the famous chiefs who led the massive war party from Northland. Along with his brother Patuone and allies Taoho and Tūwhare, they travelled south to join forces with Ngāti Toa and their fearsome leader, Te RAUPARAHA.
And then travelled down through Taranaki until they arrived in Wellington, where they met some quite firm resistance from the Ngāti Ira tribes. At some point during that period, and they were here for several months, there was a peacemaking that was arranged between Ngāti Ira and Ngāpuhi.
And this taiaha played a part in that peacemaking.
It did.
How did this taiaha become a symbol of peace?
We don't know precisely how that came to be. What we do know is that it was named Te Rongo Taketake, and the name itself is a reference to a firm and lasting peacemaking.
The name means a peace that carries on, which is what the taiaha did as it passed through different hands. First to another fighting warlord nicknamed the Duke, Te Ruki Kawiti, and eventually to the first New Zealand-born Member of Parliament, John Sheehan. It is a weapon of war.
I think the common misconception around taiaha is that they're a spear, and they're not spears at all. In fact, they're striking weapons. The pointed end, which is actually used for thrusting rather than throwing and stabbing. The other end is for striking at various points of the body, and the tinana in the middle is for parrying. So the whole weapon is in fact designed as a close quarter combat weapon. It was not at all uncommon for peace between tribes and chiefs to be symbolised in a physical emblem like a meripaunamu or a taiaha.
Why is this so significant for our museum, for Wellington?
It's especially significant because it tells a national story, a very relevant one for us today, especially given its associations with the early colonial period and that very difficult time where Māori and Pākehā were learning to live together. And so the whole idea of it as a symbol of peace and unification is very relevant, and it's a witness to history and has personally known a number of really important figures in our history.
Te Papa has over 360 taiaha, but most have a mysterious past we know very little about. Te Rongo Taketake stands out because it's one of the few with a traceable history and a very special place in the history of Wellington.